All right, Australia beating Canada 4-0. I wasn't expecting this game to go like that. I mean, we knew that Australia had a job in their hands. We knew that they'd be scared as the tournament or one of the tournament hosts. Being knocked out at the group stages is not a good look on anybody. But I wasn't expecting in the 9th minute for Hayley Raso to go and score an absolute screamer on the edge of the box. The ball rocketed into the bottom left-hand corner, went for about 10 bodies. I mean, keeper had no chance. I mean, this is not ideal for Canada. This doesn't look great. Olympic champions, reigning Olympic champions. It's the first time ever that a reigning Olympic champion has been kicked out in the group stages. Bev Priestman, in the post-match interview, seemed weirdly positive about the performance. I mean, Rach, what are you taking away from this? Because, to be honest, I was expecting more from them, but Bev seemed to be fairly happy with exiting at the earliest possible opportunity.
Sounds like Bev got confused with the scoreline as well. I feel like I feel like Canada have just slowly gotten worse as the tournament went on. Like, I appreciate that they beat Ireland, but they were not at the races in the first half of that match. And it seems like they weren't at the races again today. Like, looking back at the highlights, because obviously I was at the Ireland-Nigeria match, like, the defence just looks so static and stationary while Australia are attacking. It just kind of, I'm not going to say half-arsed because no athlete is ever half-arsed. But it just looked that kind of static, really unusual. You know, we're used to Canada being quite difficult to break down. And they just weren't there. But also, like, credit to Australia because they looked nervous in the first match. They looked shell-shocked getting beaten in the second. And suddenly all the pressure was on. All the talk was about Sam. You know, they knew that it was vital for the success of this World Cup going forward that they continued through from the group stages. So fair fucks to them to be able to manage that pressure and to come out and not only perform, but perform like that and absolutely put to bed the Olympic champions was really, really impressive. Hayley Raso as well, getting 2 goals. Mary Fowler, well, she got one, but she had it in the back of the net twice. Some performance, and I loved all the mind games with Sam Kerr. I don't think she was ever going to come on unless the scoreline was reversed. I didn't think we were going to see her on, but I'm sure it put the frighteners on Canada, and it seemed like it did.
I think it felt like an Australia who wanted to achieve something, not only for the country but for Sam. Sam seemed like she was in completely different spirits. When you go to the first game, she's in tears, she's like hugging her teammates. Everyone at post matches really deflated, really depressed, thinking, Sam's out of the tournament, we just don't know what's going on. Switch to almost a week later, Sam's laughing and joking on the subs bench. There was one point I thought she was coming on. I mean, she started taking off like the strapping and stuff around her calf, and then throwing it in someone's face, and they're all laughing on the bench. I mean, you would be at 3-0 up. I mean, yeah, you'd be absolutely having a jolly, and you'd probably be popping open the champagne. But it did feel like a much lighter side than we have been used to seeing, obviously, in the last 2 games. So credit to them because they had a lot to do today, and against the reigning champions. It wasn't so long ago, like last year, that Canada won the CONCACAF. I always got that pronunciation of that always gets me. But yeah, this is no mean feat. So congratulations to Australia for progressing and holding on to the hopes of their country for another round. On a sad note, we are going to see Canada exit. This will be, the first top 10 FIFA ranked team to be leaving the World Cup. This wasn't expected. But do you think maybe that's just because Nigeria have been so bloody unexpectedly strong in this tournament? They've caused upset after upset in the group stages. Is it Canada underperforming, or actually is it the fact that Nigeria have just absolutely beasted the last week and a half?
I'm not letting Canada away with that. Canada have underperformed, absolutely.
Savage.
But equally, this has been a tough group as well, right? So someone was going to have to go out. 2 teams were going to have to go out, and that meant there was going to be a big name going out of this group, whoever it was. So you kind of have to balance it a bit with that. I mean, yeah, you can say they've had all this other stuff going on off the pitch as well. You have to take that into consideration. But I just don't think players really stepped up or played particularly well. Kadisha Buchanan looked shaky today. She struggled today. She just didn't look at the race. I keep saying at the races. It's this bloody horse analogy. I said it once and now it's like ingrained in my head.
We're not going back to that again. We need to
but they just didn't look
new.
with it. Do you know what I mean? No, we're not. We'll move on from that. But they just they didn't look with it or sharp enough. I don't know, which is a shame because these are world-class players. So yeah, I do think they have underperformed. And maybe there is an element to the fact that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes for them. But yeah, this was always going to be a difficult group, and we were always going to be looking at a name, going home, thinking, I can't believe they're going home.